here with Dark Horse President and founder Mike Richardson. We're here to interview him for Dark Horse Month about Crimson Empire 3, which has returned after 11 years?
After a very long time.
After a very long time. So what made now the perfect time to pick up the thread of Crimson Empire?
Well, when we first did it, we had some issues because of the movie that was being made by George, and we inadvertently moved into some territory that was overlapping some of the film material. So, you know, we had to rewrote some plot lines in the first two books, and so decided to put it aside for a while. And you know, now we're at a time where we can finish it, and we're in a time period that we don't interfere with other things going on. So we can finish the book, and we felt like we needed to bring it to a close, the story of Kirkanos and what happens to him and Maricin. And also, it was always our plan to sort of tie it into the classic characters, so we get a chance to do that just a bit.
Can you catch us up as to where Kirkanos is at right now?
Well, several years have passed since we last saw him in his timeline, and he's now living as a bounty hunter. He does what he does best, which is use the skills that he learned as a member of the Imperial Guard protecting Palpatine. So he's the last of his kind, and as such has become sort of a legend out in the galaxy. And so there are people who want to use that legend to their own ends.
And his goal right now, he's going to be targeting Luke and Leia as part of his ongoing sort of vendetta?
Well, not to give too much away, but Kanos, who was, let's say, the victim of heavy propaganda, obviously, as he was being trained, has come to see the world, or the universe, the galaxy, the Empire, a little different than he did in the past. So some of those hard ideas that he had in the past softened slightly as to who is responsible, and maybe even as to whether his loyalty to Palpatine was deserved or well-founded.
I always wondered, he seemed so driven. I wondered what would happen to him if he ever did fulfill his goal and get rid of all those people he held responsible. What would be left for him in life?
Well, it strictly was revenge and out of loyalty to Palpatine, but he's found out things about Palpatine over the years that have, again, eroded his confidence in his previous mission. The title Empire Lost relates directly to how Kirkanos will feel by the end of this three-arc series.
And Maricin is now back in the mix, working, you know, protecting Princess Leia and her quarters. But it seems like she's having some conflict about that, about whether she should remain in that position. Is that because of her past kind of interactions with Kirkanos?
It's the same thing with Maricin. I mean, she's just as Kirkanos' actions have been determined by his past. Maricin finds herself in the same position of responding to things in her own past. She ends up, out of a sense of duty and loyalty to the Republic, warning of a possible threat to the Skywalker family, and ends up in a position protecting them, protecting the family of the man who killed her husband and destroyed her own life. So on one hand, she's loyal to the Republic, and on the other hand, she's conflicted because she's not sure she is the right person for the job she's in because of the conflict she feels over things that have happened in the past.
So we've seen...
I'm trying to tell you all this without just telling you the whole story. I want somebody to read it.
Well, we've seen Luke and Leia, and we've heard tell of Han. Is he going to show up in that as well?
Luke will show up. Leia will show up. Hans will show up there. The interesting thing was, for this particular time period, now with all the continuity that's been created in the Star Wars world, is finding out where each character, each of the classic characters, were and what they were doing in the context of all the other books and films and material that has gone before. So to place each character in the right place and then be able to bring them into the story. So it's sort of fun. You had to do a lot of reading of a lot of Star Wars stuff to figure out where everyone belonged.
I bet. There's a lot of different eras in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Is this your favorite era? Do you have a favorite time period?
Well, obviously I like the classic movies. You know, I was a big Star Wars fan. I actually saw the original movie 19 times in the theater, so yes, I'm a big Star Wars geek. And, you know, I was always hoping that George would decide to do the final three movies as he originally intended to do, 9 films. At least that was the legend out there. And, you know, you sort of hope that he'll someday decide to do more Star Wars films.
After Crimson Empire, are there going to be more comics with Luke, Leia, and Han?
There may be more comics, probably not written by me, but Kirkanos takes a change in direction by the end of this series, and a new path is started. He starts on a new path for his own life, and so I think that might be fun to chronicle what happens to Kirkanos.
As a comic book writer, what kind of stories catch your attention? What do you like to achieve in your storytelling?
Well, it depends on the series, what your goals are, but obviously in Star Wars, anything connected to Star Wars, you want to put some valid addition to the canon. Showing the other characters that you briefly see in the movies and realize that they have stories behind, there are stories to tell behind those characters is a lot of fun. You know, I was intrigued by the Imperial Guard the very first time I saw them on camera. They just looked cool. And the idea that they were bodyguards and deadly bodyguards always intrigued me. So, you know, we went to, when I talked to Randy about we need to do a Star Wars series based on these characters, these mysterious characters. We went through a number of discussions of where the storyline would go, and I think we ended up creating something that was fun and deserving of a place in the legend, or the Star Wars legend, or tale, or continuity, whatever you want to say.
Well, Dark Horse, you founded it 25 years ago now. What have been some of your proudest moments along the way?
I think we've, first of all, that we survived 25 years. Very few comic companies in the history of the business last 25 years. But not only that we've survived 25 years, but that we've flourished through those years. And, you know, the relationships with the creators that we have, and the way we take the licensed projects that we bring to comic book and graphic novel form and breathe new life into them and add to their stories. And it's all good.
What do you think Dark Horse offers that's unique among other comic book publishers today?
Well, you know, I can just talk about Dark Horse. You know, we put a lot of time and effort in every one of the comics we do. We, you know, if you were to see over here my bookshelf, we do more formats and presentations of graphic novels and comics than I think any publisher ever. And it's because every single book we talk about, each particular book, what's the best way to present it, what's the best format for it. So we'll go look for formats for particular books. So there's no givens in any book. We try to allow creators to have a certain freedom when they write. You know, we're just trying to put a very strong line of memorable characters, memorable books, and that's our goal with every single book we do. And I think more often than not we're successful.
Is there anything else coming up you'd like to talk about?
Well, right now I'm excited about Dark Horse Presents. We have a lot of great creators. This happens to be from the creator of the Goon story that he put in there, but Eric Powell. Yeah, but book is great. A lot of new launches that were started out in Dark Horse Presents. You know, Dark Horse Presents was the core of our company when we started. That's the book that where we discovered, I shouldn't say discovered, but Concrete first appeared, Hellboy first appeared, Sin City first appeared. Just a lot of great talent. Eric with The Goon, Steve Niles with Criminal Macabre, just a lot of great material. And we got away from the anthology at one time, but now we brought it back in an even better package, and we have amazing talent showing up inside this book, and so we're very excited about it. It really is, we missed it here at Dark Horse, and it really is sort of the, presents the company in the way that it should be presented, the types of stories we do, the types of creators we work with, and it also will feature some of the licenses that we do. And I just think it's something that makes Dark Horse different and special.
Well, thanks so much for your time.
Sure, no problem. Bye.